It's here's the Whitey Jenkins Show, and I'm your host. Guess who? Whitey Jenkins. Makes sense, right? So I'm super excited to finally have my own show here on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and wherever all the hell this is showing right now. And if you're watching, well, I appreciate it. And if you ain't, well, you're gonna miss a good one because I got a great guest coming up here in just a second, and just want to welcome everybody live from High Point Mobile Estates right here in Vinemont, Alabama. We coming to you here, and real quick before I bring on my guest, I want to introduce our producer who used to work on old Jackson's podcast till Charles Anders kicked him off. We got producer Smokey. There he is. He's back there running the show and keeping everything going. So without further ado, I want to welcome my very first guest on the very first episode of the Whitey Jenkins Show. Yes, sir, it is. It's him. It's Mr. Too Fine, Justin Klein. Well, hell, we having technical problems already. That's what happens when you have a damn cat for a producer, I guess. I don't hold on. Let me take him off. Bring him back. Is he there? Well, what the hell's going on? Justin, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't see you. Your screen's blacked out there. It looks like midnight in the mine shaft up there or something. It's just totally black. Hold on. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Hold on. There we go. Hello?
Hello.
All right. Apparently we're going to hear you but can't see you. I don't know what.
That is completely not an option.
Well, I mean,
hey,
well, there you are. You froze, but wait, there you go. Oh, wait, you moved. Hey. How you doing?
Are we Justin working now? I mean, this is a high dollar value production. I can tell already.
I mean, we're coming to you from High Point Mobile Estates here in Vinemont. Maybe the internet connection leaves a little bit to be desired, but old Smokey, he's doing the best he can. He's a cat, so it's growing pains. You're on the first show. This is the kind of things that happen. I do apologize. And I know you're used to the finer things in life and then much higher standard, and we do appreciate you kind of bringing yourself down to our level, if you know what I mean.
I do appreciate doing this via satellite versus me being there in that mobile home.
Yeah, because I mean, to pull the curtain back, I invited you over here, to hang out, eat some crystals, and we just, drink it. I got some JD in here with this Coke.
Okay, so did you have a stroke right now, or
no? I don't.
Do I need to do this show? I can do the show myself.
You're froze up. I ain't never seen this many problems on one of these deals. So we might just have to. Can you hear me?
I'm moving.
What?
I can hear you.
All right. Am I moving, or is mine froze up on your end? Because your picture's froze up.
You're moving.
All right. Well, as long as they can hear you, I reckon they can see your picture there, and they see that good-looking sweater you got on there. You got your turtleneck like you like it. So let's just go ahead and work with what we got here. So tell me a little bit about the dynasty.
So I'm in the dark right now. Is that correct?
No, we see you. You're moving like a robot. It's kind of like a robot or something. We see you fancy Dan watch there and your big ring.
The dynasty, how it got started. Let me tell you. K-Swiss was the victim of a bit of. I don't like to push conspiracy theories, but it was a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy. It actually happened. He was screwed out of his match there at the Clash in Corinth. Hunt videos on. I've showed it a million times. He kicked out. K-Swiss did. Referee counted 3 anyway. K-Swiss, they were just going to go with it. And K-Swiss was going to be, walked over like a doormat. And me being a defender of the heroes of defenseless, I stepped in and K-Swiss hired me to correct that situation. And really became quite an asset, if I do say so myself, to K-Swiss's career, and ended up being his agent full time. Now, other wrestlers at EPW began to see the success that K-Swiss and myself were having, and they wanted on board. They wanted a piece of that. And so I was definitely interested in signing a tag team, getting the tag team on. Really, then these salt of the earth guys from Corinth, I mean, they've got everything to be huge stars. They're the hometown heroes, I call them, the best thing to ever come out of Mississippi, the hot shots. And I love these guys. They've got all the potential in the world. They just needed to get that extra push, to get that Klein bump. And my latest signing, who I was a little hesitant on, he's newer, but I feel like he just hadn't found his, what's the word? The word I'm looking for. He just hadn't found his niche yet. And so his name, he's proven himself to be a future Hall of Famer, Fancy Bryce Dancy.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah. I've seen him on the YouTubes and whatnots. And, yeah, he is a pretty fancy feller. I'll give you that.
He is. He's a pretty fancy feller, as you would say. But, yeah, he proved his loyalty. He proved how much he wanted it. He had our back a few times when we needed it, and I'm happy to bring him aboard. So I've got a total of 4 now. The dynasty is taking over EPW. Well,
I mean, them boys are tag team champions. Am I right? I mean, they beat the Memphis Muscleheads, is what
Absolutely.
I understand.
The Memphis Meatheads.
There you
go. Justin Cole, Big Swole, and the Gun Show. Well, that Gun Show had a squib load when he faced the little gun reference for some of you hillbillies when he faced the Hot Shots.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Lord knows old Brett Michaels needs to be taken down a few pegs because, my God, I mean, I there's women that post less pictures of themselves on social media. My God.
My good friend Jimmy, he couldn't take it anymore. I mean, he blew up. Every day you go on there, and it's just littered with Brett Michaels. I'd rather see pictures of the lead singer of Poison.
Well, I mean, that caused a lot of confusion for me because, you know, I got on there and they're like, hey, look, Brett Michaels won the championship. And I'm like, boy, I mean, old Poison guy done got on the gas there, ain't he? I mean, what the hell? And then they told me that.
And you think, and you're sitting there probably thinking, how in the world did he beat Danzig? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of thing you're wondering. They're like, oh no, that ain't him. That's some kid from Myrtle over there, you know, that got all juiced up. Now he's the Memphis Memphis Heritage Champion or something such. I don't know.
How are you gonna be proud of a heritage of a city like Memphis?
That's why. See, I was at the EPWs last time. It's the first time I'd ever been there, and I was looking around that dressing room, and I said, I need somebody classy that can come on my first episode of the Whitey Jenkins Show. And I looked around the room, and I got to tell you, there wasn't a lot of classy folks there. I mean, just to be honest. And I seen you, and I said, that fella right there. And I asked my good buddy, Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock, I said, oh, Justin Klein, you think he would do the Whitey Jenkins Show? And Jimmy said, Whitey, I'll put a good word in for you. And I know, man, you wouldn't be doing this right now if Jimmy hadn't gave you the Iggy and told you I was a decent feller and told you to come on. So appreciate you and appreciate Jimmy because this has been a hell of an interview so far. Other than
we all appreciate Jimmy.
All that.
You're exactly right. I probably would have been a little more hesitant to come on and do this had Jimmy not give me the go-ahead, give me the green light. You know, I do believe that there's no such thing as bad publicity, but this is not my typical conversation. I mean, you got your big gulp of your Sonic there.
I mean, it's a Jack's Cup, but I mean, I got some Coke and some Jack and some. Well, it ain't really matter what's in here, but we've got.
Well, you're froze up again.
God damn it!
So I see. Maybe this show will give you enough ratings you can upgrade some of that equipment.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have to steal Wi-Fi from somebody with better internet. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Don't steal from some EPW fans because they have some I mean, they're already stealing it, but
Right. I mean, it would be third. You'd be stealing it for like second, third, fourth time there. So
you really lose a lot of speed with that.
now, and that's kind of like like when you used to lose on the third, fourth generation VHS, because my matches used to be on VHS back in the day. I didn't like all these guys burning these DVDs and streaming or whatever they talk about now. But anyhow,
they twitch and they tweet. It's
all that garbage.
It's the new thing.
I mean, man. But what I did when I told everybody that I was going to have Justin Klein on the show, I said, send in your questions for So Fine, Mr. Too Fine, Justin Klein. So Fine, that's Brian. That's the Pink Flamingo. That's a whole nother show right there. He's a bass fisherman now, but that's another story. So let's take a look here and see what
I'm
the
familiar
fan
with
base.
That guy. He's doing a show from a legend in the Mid-South, David Cox.
Pontotoc.
In Pontotoc.
For David Cox. Bill and D apparently won't be there.
I was not booked. None of the Dynasty members were booked. I was a little hurt about that. And then I looked into it a little bit more, and I think they just couldn't afford us. So
yeah, they ain't got that kind of budget, I promise you.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, if y'all didn't want a hot dog and a handshake, Dynasty wasn't working that show, I promise you. Yeah. So let's take a look here at some of the questions. The Zanman20 says, how was your Columbus Day?
My Columbus Day was great.
Or was it Indigenous Peoples Day?
Well, I mean, the whole thing with Columbus, are we going to get really deep here? The whole thing with Columbus is he didn't do anything that nobody at that time in that civilization wasn't doing. They just get mad at the winners, just like at me. I mean, Christopher Columbus did it better than everybody else. They were all fighting over that land.
I'm just surprised they insist on calling it Indigenous People Day, because I'm pretty sure I got suspended from school for calling somebody indigenous back in the day, or
probably.
Or maybe
times have changed.
Maybe it was something else. Anyway, let's.
But I don't know. I don't understand why some people are upset about it. He was just bringing some much needed cultural diversity to the Americas, and all the racist. The what do you call them? The something phobes. They were just unwelcoming to the people who arrived here at the shores. So I look to Christopher Columbus as a great man who still needs to be respected.
Well, I agree, but we're going to move on before you get us canceled here, Justin.
I don't think there's a lot of blue-haired gender studies majors watching, so I think we're okay.
I hope not, because I hate them some bitches. But anyway, EPW fan.
We cannot move on if you keep freezing up, though.
Are you hearing me?
I don't think you know when you freeze up. When you freeze up, I can't hear you.
I don't know. Hold on a second. All right, can you hear me now?
A great shot of just me.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, like the old Verizon commercial.
All right. Yeah, you let me know, because when your picture freezes up, I still hear you. Now, the question is, can the people hear you? I don't know. We'll be finding out after the fact. This might be, none of this may be landing. I don't know, man.
Jimmy Blaylock, your word riding on this.
We got you, Jimmy. Don't worry. All right, so EPW Fan 2012 said, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about being a wrestling manager?
My favorite thing is the prestige, the watching somebody, knowing that what a success I am, taking somebody like a piece of clay in your hands and molding them into a superstar. I've managed the greatest of all time now, the second longest reigning EPW heavyweight champion of all time, K-Swiss. I've got the current tag team, the Hot Shots, and I got the up-and-comer Fancy Bryce Dancy. That's my favorite part, is to help these guys in a way where I can't maybe compete in the ring, or I am not as tough as them, but I can bring another aspect of what they need. And we make a great team. So that's my favorite part. My least favorite is not having control over the things the fans say and do. Right. I like a controlled environment. I think it would be better if everybody was on the same page, everybody cheering for the dynasty. But,
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, obviously, people would have class and have some taste, but,
right,
you're,
right.
you're in Booneville, so what are you going to do?
And people are always going to – they're always going to hate things that they aspire to be, but they know they can never be. So they like to bring it down. They like to knock you down.
Bingo. Now, this one might rub you the wrong way, but, I mean, I told these folks I'd ask these questions, so here we go. Big Boy Roy asks, is it true that K-Swiss is actually just Mitch Toretta cosplaying as MVP, or is that purely speculation?
Who asked that?
Big Boy Roy.
Big Boy Roy. Let me tell you something, Big Boy Roy. Why don't you come down to the EPW arena and try Swiss's face? That's all I got to say about that. That's an example of perfect hate. I mean, he thinks he's funny.
Now, say, look at you, Big Boy Roy. You done got Justin all hot and bothered over here. Ole Miss for life.
Is that loser in here? Is that loser in here? Or did he?
I can only assume he's probably watching. But if not, if he ain't watching it live, he'll watch the replay.
I mean, somebody named Roy in 2001. Okay.
I mean, when he gets off the back of the garbage truck tomorrow and gets home from work, he'll probably watch this on replay on his cousin's computer or something. But anyway,
are you froze up or are you reading slow there, Whitey?
Well, I mean, it could go either. I mean, these pills are kicking in pretty hard, but I'm trying to read it at a normal rate. How am I sounding now?
Sounding good.
All right.
Relatively. Minus the accent.
What? Well, I mean, I'm doing what I can, man. What wrestling manager would you say is your greatest influence?
Ooh. I would have to go with there have been some great ones. And I always come down to between two, but I'm going to have to deflect to Mr. Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Always a good answer.
A legend. I mean, I hate to be kind of predictable, although there's a half a dozen or so that get answered. I picked one, but Cornette is a close second.
I mean, I thought you might have went Jimmy Blaylock, but I mean, Bobby Heenan and Jim Cornette are both excellent choices.
Jimmy Blaylock, he also in one of those top five I was talking about.
He's on your Mount Rushmore, as they say.
Exactly.
Bobby from Burnsville said, "Are you related to Calvin Klein?" I don't know who that is.
You do not. Clearly,
is that a no?
Market. You know Betty down at the flea market. Calvin Klein and I can see where somebody might mistake. I mean, I do dress pretty. I mean, I'm on point, Whitey. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, what do they call it now? Fleek? I got
metrosexual or something. I don't know. Fleek. I don't know. I'm not up on all.
I don't think that was really what I was getting at.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I dress really nice. I can see where you think I'd be related to a designer. That's a compliment. I like that question, but no relation.
10-4. Hollywood Jimmy fan asks, "Is Bryce Dancy really fancy, or is that just a gimmick?"
He's very fancy. I mean, look at that hair. Okay, the hair gives it away.
I mean, anybody puts their pinky out as much as he does got to be pretty dang fancy. I mean, let's just be honest about it.
I mean, the thick curls in the hair. I mean, you can tell he gets his hair done. And nothing wrong with that.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're into. Okay, wait. Am I froze up right now or anything?
No, you're on a record here. I think it's been 2 minutes.
You're going to wish I had been. You're not going to like this one, but again, I got to read it. So, Ned from Mantachi asks, "Tell us what it was like watching Trace Hunt beat K-Swiss in the steel cage for the EPW title, knowing there was nothing you could do about it."
I told you not to ask questions like this. I told you. Ned from Nantucket. It's a family show. I can think of a lot of things that rhyme with Nantucket.
He's from Mantachi.
What do you think it was like? What do you think it was like to watch somebody who poured their heart into this business, who deserved it, who came out and said, I am a pure technical wrestler, an old-fashioned Greco-Roman amateur style, something that the dynasty would like to bring back. Less of this hardcore bullshit, less of these, outlaw mud show crap. We don't wrestle in cage matches, but yet Neil Taylor insisted he get that match in a cage. So how did I feel? I think you can tell how I feel.
Pretty hot about it sounds like. This is just
we were less than 3 weeks away from breaking the all-time record when that happened. And that's exactly why they stacked the odds in Trace Hunt's favor.
Have you ever met Trace Hunt's brother, Mike?
No, I thought that was his nickname. It's actually a different person, huh?
I was just trying to lighten the mood. You got a little hot there. You got a little hot under the old collar, and that's a pretty big collar. So there's one you're going to like, I believe. Ass Man 1998 asks, heaven forbid if you passed away and going to heaven was not an option, and you were given a choice between spending eternity in hell or Boonville, Mississippi, which one would you choose and why?
Clearly, I would pick hell. Because there'd be a lot better people there. I'd have more in common with people there than I would in Boonville, Mississippi.
All right, knock that one out of the park. I knew that.
And I don't like. I mean, although Boonville's a sweltering, humid armpit, it still gets a little cold, and I like the warm, so I'd be okay with hell.
I hear you, man. That, yeah, I'm not excited about going back to Boone. I'm excited, to see you and Jimmy and everybody down there Saturday night. Speaking of which, let's just get on.
I wonder if they serve
right there.
I wonder if they serve slug burgers in hell.
I think hell's a little classier than that.
Wow.
Justin, I mean, good Lord.
I'm sure they've got payday loans and Dollar Generals everywhere. So,
they got a Dollar General every 50 feet. You can't throw a rock without hitting. No, that's Mississippi and Alabama. Never mind.
Now look at this poster. Let's look at this for a minute. You see what's wrong with that poster?
Well, I mean, I see what's right with it. We got fancy Bryce Dancy on there, so that's a step in the right direction. But then we got the Memphis Meatheads up here. We got
of course, front and center.
What is it?
Giving people the impression that they can aspire to be like these guys when it's obvious they've used performance-enhancing drugs. And you know what? I've been pushing for the Mississippi Wrestling Commission to get these guys drug tested. They didn't earn that. They didn't work for those physiques. Give me a break.
Then you got the Puke It Up Boys or whatever they're called back there, and then you got Father Time over here to the far left. Good Lord.
Well, I mean,
he looks like he just wandered up in the middle of that photo right there. Like, what are we doing?
He's like, guys, can I get a picture with you?
Look at his face. And then what's that old Van Vicious? Is that
that's Van Vicious,
Sid's special nephew or something? And then we got, of course, right there in the middle, right behind old Gun Show. Of course, you got. Let's just not even talk about that. I don't want to get you riled again.
I will say this though. So you have 2 out of like 8 on there that are worthy of promoting. That'll bring in a quality caliber of fan. Of course, Fancy, and I do actually have a pass with Van Vicious. I worked with him a few times before EPW.
Okay.
Kind of dipping my toes into the business, yeah.
If you'll vouch for him, then I'll
I vouch for that guy. Best tan in the business,
well,
Mr. Miami. I mean, I will say this. on a typical Saturday night, hands down, I'm the best looking guy. Locker room, out front, in the parking lot, in the fucking town. However, when Van Vicious is there, it's a little closer. Good looking dude, that Van Vicious.
Well, at least we'll have somebody else to help class to join up Saturday night. Because, I mean, there you got, Bone Crusher and the gang there. And that's, you got me with the salute there. That So if you hadn't already, go subscribe to the official EPW Wrestling YouTube channel so you can see the Dynasty in action. You can see K-Swiss. You can see some of the shafting that has taken place to you and K-Swiss and how they've stolen the title, and pulled some of the shenanigans that Neil Taylor and that bunch has been known to pull over.
Right. I mean, and the fans there are so disrespectful. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've tried to, and that's one of my missions with the Dynasty, is to try to turn away some of these downtrodden, blue collar, like they can't even afford a Coke at the concession stand. I mean, they save up money. They have no expendable income. These are trashy people. And now that we have TV, I would like to get a higher clientele. And I'm hoping it rubs off on people. I hope people see me and think, oh my God, a guy like this, if he can make it in professional wrestling, if he's a wrestling superstar, maybe professional wrestling is classier than I thought.
Well, we can only hope, or at the very least, like that old country song.
Either I said something so profound that it just put you into shock, or now you're back. Thank you.
Well, all right. Well, while you can hear me and we can see each other, tell us. I know you said they ain't got no money over in Boonville, but tell it for the people who do have money and want to spend it wisely. Tell us what kind of Dynasty merch you've got available.
And that's why I've decided to eventually, and that'll be coming in a few days, I'm going to set it up where people can order online because I feel like we have more fans outside of Boonville than we do in Boonville. But here's what you can get. I mean, marketing, I'm, of course, a law student graduate, but I also have a minor in marketing, and you will not believe what I'm about to hit you with. Look at these stunners.
Oh,
Hot shot shades. I mean, who has that, right? Imprinted right on the lens. You got the boss, Ethan Ross. You got the savage, Brandon. And you've got, of course, me, too fine, Justin Klein, right there. These will be for sale at a ridiculously underpriced price tag of $10. I mean, who has this, right?
I mean, I've been rocking these since the 80s, but I might have to pick me up a pair of them Saturday night and rock them right here on the show.
I can tell. It looks like, what's her name? Farrah Hahn on Playboy had some sunglasses like that. Jessica Hahn. Might be dating myself.
He might be. I know Jimmy Hart wore these at like WrestleMania too, but yeah.
And also being a hip guy, always in tune with the culture. I have just ordered, they just came in today, breaking right here on the Whitey Jenkins Show, a brand new button. It's sweeping the nation. Everywhere you go, no matter what the event, people are yelling, "Let's go, Brandon. Let's go." And to show our appreciation of everyone's love of Brandon Savage, we have "Let's Go, Brandon" buttons.
Oh, man. I'm going to be emptying my wallet at the Dynasty gimmick table come Saturday. That? Look at that. I mean, hey, K-Swiss, Bryce Dancy, I mean, they're all over. But, man, Brandon had 100,000 people screaming at Talladega, "Let's go, Brandon." I mean, there's billboards, T-shirts. I mean, people love Brandon Savage.
I don't know who that is in the background. That may be Bone Crusher shocked back there. But anyway, I think these are just going to fly. These are just the must-have merch.
I'll be buying me one of them along with my hot shot shades for sure.
Of the fall. And lastly, the creme de la creme. The Dynasty T-shirts.
Look at that. Boy, you be
Look at
styling
this,
and profiling
people.
that bad boy.
Who has a design? Who has a shirt better than this? I mean, look at this. If that doesn't scream class, I had this designed myself.
Boy, that is.
You think you look good in something like this, Whitey?
Man, I'd be the envy of the trailer park in that right there, boy. I'd get more ass in the toilet seat wearing that thing around.
I don't doubt it. Man, they think you moved on up.
Exactly. They'd be like, we better hook up with old Whitey, because clearly he either has money or knows somebody that does, or he wouldn't be rocking that T-shirt for sure.
From the trailer park to Central Park, just by putting this T-shirt on.
Damn right.
These will be again a low price when you consider Brett Michaels and Trace Hunt sell their T-shirts for the same price, $20. You can get them. We've got every size you need, from the most obese ham beasts and cattle that come to EPW to your infants and your malnourished. So small to 4X we've got.
How many liquor stores have they got to rob to buy one of them $20 shirts from Brett Michaels? I mean, good Lord.
Can you imagine? But these are the same people that spend their income on scratch-offs, fireworks, slot machines. The people who can afford it less, they're always trying to chase that quick buck. And I don't mean to get offensive, right. So I'm sure you might know something about that.
I enjoy some of those things. I mean, I like to live the good life.
I thought about that after I started talking. I'm sorry.
I take no offense, though. I mean, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Andy Griffith. There we go.
Matlock?
He's been trying to comment for half the show, and they're just now coming through. There they are, Andy. Andy's a good feller, and he came and checked out some EPW here a while back, and he's a big fan of yours and the entire dynasty, and he insisted on watching the show tonight just to see you on here. So,
thank you, Andy.
Thanks for joining us.
Good, wholesome man. I mean, talk about an American icon, Andy Griffith. Come on,
damn right.
Trace who?
Yeah, Andy Griffith's one needs to be saluting, not Trace Hunt.
Right.
Not the old belt thief himself, you know.
I've got the real American icon in my corner, Andy Griffith.
There you go.
That man would never cheat. He'd never support a cheater.
Absolutely not. Well, man, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. We'll get all this straightened out, and we'll bring you back on when things is running a little more smooth, if you know what I mean.
You've been very kind despite your ineptitude.
Well, you know, when you got a cat producing the show, you know, it is what it is down here in the old High Point Mobile Estates, because that sounds classier than trailer park.
And at least I didn't have to get any hairballs on this sweater.
Well, you know, if you're ever around the Coleman Vine Bond area, swing on by. We'll vacuum up the cat hair before you come.
I don't see that ever happening. You jinxed yourself. You froze up again. But ladies and gentlemen, I guess I can close out the show unless he comes back. I am too fine, Justin Klein. I am the talk of Northeast Mississippi. And I am the greatest manager of the greatest faction in EPW history. Good night, everyone. Oh, you're back.
Hey, I'm back just in time to say thank you for that awesome closing right there, Mr. Klein. And I will see you Saturday night down there in godforsaken Boonville, Mississippi at the EPW Arena.
It'll be a great night. Bring your dynasty signs.
Damn right. And steal you some money so you can get you one of them swanky T-shirts and a Let's Go Brandon button so you can show your support for Brandon Savage like we all do. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, man. Justin Klein, what a show it's been. Get over there. What you think about that? I know y'all have been checking that T-shirt out the whole time. ProWrestlingTees.com/Whitey Jenkins. You can get you one of these sweet T-shirts right here because, hey, Mr. Klein may have the fanciest shirt, but he ain't got the only shirt. So get you a Whitey Jenkins shirt over at ProWrestlingTees.com and keep an eye on the Facebook, and you'll find out who my next guest is whenever we announce it. So for Justin Klein, I'm Whitey Jenkins saying we'll see you next time right here from High Point Mobile Estates in I'm on Alabama.